welcome to day 25 of my 6th annual SLAP challenge. SLAP, S-L-A-P, stands for squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. We are doing 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups a day every single day except Sundays for 40 days. And this is day 25 already, but that does not mean it is too late to join the challenge. It is never too late to join the challenge. Of course, you don't have to do the challenge. If you just want to do this workout with me today, that's great. There are timestamps in the description box down below the video, so feel free to use the chapter markers if you would prefer to just skip straight ahead to the workout. But if you would like to hear a little bit about what the challenge is, how it works, why we're doing it, let me just go ahead and tell you first of all that there is a playlist for this challenge that contains all of the workouts in chronological order. I will link the playlist up here in the iCard. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video, and I will link it at the very end of the video as well so that you cannot miss it. So please click on that link, open the playlist, and then save the playlist so that when and if you do decide to join the challenge, you have the playlist readily available and it will be super easy to follow along. Then I want you to begin by watching the day 1 video. In that video, I explained all about what the challenge is, how it works, why we're doing it, who's Brutus, how you can participate, where to begin. I also demonstrated and explained the correct form for how to do squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups properly. And I provided tons of beginner modifications that I promise you can do. Even if you are an ultra, super duper day 1 beginner and you've never done a workout before in your entire life and you don't think you could do a squat, you don't think you could do a push-up, yes you can. You can do squats, you can do lunges, you can do abs, you can do push-ups, and you can do this challenge. So watch that day 1 video to see how. And then, once you understand what the challenge is and how to participate, it is going to be up to you to decide how you want to participate. I am sharing this challenge in a very structured way. I'm sharing a new workout with you every single day. The workouts are numbered, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. That's how I'm doing the challenge. And I am doing 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups a day every single day, except Sundays, for 40 days. But if 160 reps is too many for you, you don't have to do 160 reps. If 40 days is too many for you, you don't have to do it for 40 days. If working out 6 days a week is too much for you, you don't have to work out 6 days a week. If you're doing it, it's your challenge. So do it in a way that works for you. I have a few people who are doing the challenge, but they're just doing fewer reps every day. Instead of 40 reps of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups, they're doing 30 reps, or 20 reps, or 15 reps. Okay, so decide to what degree you are able to participate and then make the commitment. Okay, it starts with one very important step, saying I can do this challenge, I will do this challenge, and here's how I'm going to do it. And then once you're ready to begin, you can jump in and start today on day 25. Like I said, it's never too late to join. I would rather have you do the final, 15 days of the challenge than no days of the challenge. So absolutely, you can start today and just do days 25 through 40. That would be great. But if you decide that you do want to start the challenge on day 1, I recommend that. That is how I wrote the challenge. That is how I do the challenge. Just make sure that you start with that day 1 workout on a Wednesday. As long as you start with your day 1 workout on a Wednesday, all you have to do is follow along with the playlist and everything will fall into place. Again, I've made it super easy to follow along. But after you have saved the playlist and watched that day 1 video, if anything is unclear, if you have questions about what the challenge is, why we're doing it, who is Brutus, why does he need to be slapped, if you have questions about how to participate or you're unsure about where to begin, if you still have doubts about how to do squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups, or if you still doubt that you can do squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups, please just reach out. I'm always here to help, okay? I am here doing the challenge right along with you every single day. But I'm not just working out with you every day, I am also here to answer questions. I am here to provide guidance. I am here to help support you and motivate you, so don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or if you need help. Now this year I am really going out of my way to ensure that the challenge is accessible to beginners, ultra, super duper day one beginners. So if you are not a beginner, then the workouts that we're doing this year might not be very challenging for you. So I'm going to recommend, if you're more advanced, that you save last year's playlist. I will link last year's playlist up here in the iCard. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video, and I will link it at the very end of this video as well, so that you can't miss it. Last year was my 5th year in a row doing this challenge, and it was the same challenge. We were doing 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups a day, every single day except Sundays for 40 days. But the workouts we were doing last year were much more intense. They were pretty much all a lot longer. We were doing frequently more than just those 160 reps. And we were generally doing more advanced versions of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. We also added weight to a lot of the workouts, and for more than half the workouts, like almost all of the workouts, I think, we were also incorporating at least about 20 minutes or so of moderate paced cardio. So if that sounds something that's more your speed, then you might want to follow along with last year's playlist. So save that playlist, but save this one as well, because even if you are more advanced and you're capable of doing the more difficult workouts that we did last year, it's still a great option to have these shorter workouts that we're doing this year. Because there might be days when you're not feeling well, or you're feeling sore, or you just don't have time to do a really long, tough workout. And on those days, these shorter, simpler workouts might be just perfect for you. The workouts we're doing this year are still really great workouts, but if you're in really, really good shape, you are going to be able to finish almost all of the workouts we're doing this year for the challenge in under 10 minutes. So if you're really pressed for time, that can be a great option. Also, because I am gearing the challenge towards beginners this year, I'm really focusing on body weight exercises. I'm trying to really not use any equipment at all. So again, even if you're capable of adding weight, if you want to take your workout to the park or the beach or the hiking trail today and you don't feel like lugging, dumbbells or a kettlebell or a sandbag with you, or if you're traveling and you don't have access to any equipment, then these little body weight workouts can be perfect. These workouts that we're doing this year can also make a great warm-up. If you are in great shape, you can use one of these workouts that we're doing this year as a warm-up for like a long bike ride or a hike or a run or something like that. So definitely save both playlists, and then you can just kind of bounce back and forth between the two playlists. You can choose any workout on any given day, okay? The only requirement to participate in the challenge is just that you're getting your reps done somehow. So it can be any squat variation you want, any lunge variation you want, any ab exercise you want, and any push-up variation you want. As long as you complete 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups at some point throughout the day, you have met your requirement to participate in the challenge. So if you don't want to do what I'm doing today, that's fine. You can choose any other workout off of this year's playlist or last year's playlist, or any other workout of mine that happens to contain at least 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups. You can make up your own workout. Or if you don't want to do a structured workout at all, you can just spread out your reps throughout the day. So you could get up in the morning and do 10 squats, 10 lunges, 10 reps of an ab exercise, any ab exercise you want, and 10 push-ups, any variation of those 4 exercises you want. And then you could just repeat that 3 more times throughout the day. So you could do that again after lunch, you could do it again when you get home from work, and then once more before bed, and that's your 160 reps. Hi, Rudy, my sweet boy. When my wind chimes go off, my neighbor told me when she gave me these wind chimes after Rudy died. She said whenever I hear them, that's Rudy coming to visit me. So every time my wind chimes go off, I always have to stop and say hi to my boy. But yeah, so as long as you get your 160 reps done, it really doesn't matter how you do them. It doesn't matter when you do them, just as long as you get them done. But that's it. That's how the challenge works. Any questions? I'm right here to help. So please just ask. Now let's go ahead and get into today's workout. This format that we're doing today is the exact same format that we did on day 9 of the challenge this year. So if you have been following along with the challenge, you've seen this format already. This should be pretty easy. We're just plugging in different variations of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. I like this format. I use this format a lot. So if you follow my workouts regularly, this will look familiar to you. But let me first just start by going over the variations of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups that I'm doing, and then I'll put it all together and you'll see how all of the exercises are going to kind of flow. So starting with squats, for your squats, the first thing you want to do is tuck your shoulder blades into your back pockets. So that means your shoulders are back and down, your chest is lifted nice and high. Next, you want to really tighten up your abs. So if you imagine someone's about to come along and punch you in the stomach as hard as they can, think about how it would feel to brace for that impact. Really make sure that you are using your core and you're tightening up your ab muscles. Then, once your shoulders are back and down and your chest is lifted nice and high and your abs are tight, the next thing you want to think about doing is hinging at the hips before you think about squatting. If you think about just squatting straight down from this position, then what's going to tend to happen is that your knees are going to be out over your toes, and we don't want that. It's really easy to hurt your knees that way. I don't want anyone getting hurt. So the way to fix that is to first think about hinging at your hips as though you are trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty. Okay, so if you really do that, then look what happens. Now instead of my knees being out here over my toes, I'm pushing my booty back, and now all of my weight is in my heels. I can actually pick up my toes. All right, and it's from this position that you want to sink down into your squat. So remember, your shoulders are back and down, your chest is lifted nice and high, abs are tight. Push the booty back like you're trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty, but keep that chest lifted nice and high so that you're not allowing your back to round. Shoulders back and down, chest lifted high. So at the same time you're trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty, you're trying to touch the wall in front of you with your chest so that your spine is elongated, your back is flat, and the weight is in your heels. And then you can go ahead and sink down into your squat. Okay, so if you are able to get your thighs parallel to the ground, that's what we're going for. But you may not be there yet. So make sure you're working to your own level. Don't push your body into doing something that it is not ready to do. The main thing is that you want to keep your back flat, weight in the heels, okay? So keep that chest lifted high, push the booty back, keep your back flat, keep the weight in your heels. So if you cannot come all the way down here and get your thighs parallel to the ground, that's fine. You might be here. As long as you're not rounding your back, as long as you're minding your form, just work to your own level. It's fine if you have to shorten up your range of motion. And if you're a beginner, you might have to do that. So back flat, weight in the heels, sink down into your squat. And then to stand, you want to press your heels into the ground. Really actively try to push the ground away from you so that you activate all of those muscles from your feet, your legs, your quads, especially your glutes and your core to stand. All right, so that's just a basic air squat. Shoulders back and down, chest high, abs tight. Booty goes back, back flat, weight in the heels, sink down into your squat, and then press the ground away to stand. Now I'm going to be adding a jump, but if you don't want to jump, either because you have bad knees or you have cranky downstairs neighbors, for whatever reason, if you need an impact-free modification, you can just stick with air squats. You can just squat, 2, 3, and 4, just like that. If you do want to add a little something, but it can't be a jump, you can always add a knee up. You can add a leg lift to the side. You can add a kick. You can add an oblique knee crunch or knee to elbow, okay? There's a million different variations you could do where you don't have to jump. So you can just stick with air squats. If you want to add on a little something, you can add on a little something, okay? That's up to you. I'm going to be adding a jump. So I'm going to squat and then jump. So instead of just standing, I'm going to propel myself up into the air. I think we all know what jump means. Okay, so shoulders back and down, chest is high, abs are tight. Booty goes back, flat back, weight in the heels. Squat and then jump. All right, and that is my squat variation. Remember that with this challenge, it is so easy to customize. So with all 4 of these exercises, squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups, if the version of that exercise that I'm doing doesn't work for you, just substitute with any variation of that exercise that does work for you. So you can do any squat variation you want. I am doing squat jumps. So moving on to lunges, I am doing jump lunges. And we've done this exercise before, and it's pretty challenging. And again, it has jump in the name, so it's not impact free. So if you are really overweight or you have bad knees, or again, if you have people that live below you, if for whatever reason you can't be jumping, you don't have to jump. You can substitute with any other lunge variation you want, all right? So it's very easy to make this impact free. But I'm going to be doing jump lunges, which means that from starting from my lunge position, I'm just going to jump and switch the position of my feet. So I'm going to land in a lunge position, but this foot is now in front, this foot is in back. I'm going to jump and switch so that I end up in a lunge position with the opposite foot in front and the opposite foot in back. And that's it. It's a super simple exercise, but it's pretty challenging. So first of all, let's just go over the proper form for your lunges. Same as with your squats, you want to tuck your shoulder blades into your back pockets. Shoulders are back and down. You want to keep your chest lifted nice and high. You want to keep your abs tight. You want to be careful you're not rounding your back. Roll the shoulders back and down, keep the chest lifted high, abs are tight. Keep your back flat. And to get into your lunge position, you're going to start standing with your feet about hip width apart. You don't want to start with your feet wider than your shoulders, and you're also not starting with your feet together like this. So just standing kind of a neutral position, whatever feels natural to you, but your feet are going to be more or less hip width apart. And then you're going to step one foot behind you and then bend both knees. This is your starting position, your lunge position. Now I like to tap this back knee to the ground. You don't have to. If you are a beginner, you may need to shorten up your range of motion, and that is fine. When I say shorten up your range of motion, I'm not just talking about not tapping your knee to the ground. I usually take a big step behind me to get into this lunge position, but you can shorten up your range of motion even there, okay? So instead of stepping back here, you can step here, okay? So that's one way you can shorten up your range of motion. And of course, the other way you can shorten up your range of motion is instead of sinking all the way down into the lunge so that your back knee touches the ground, you can come here, okay? The back knee does not have to touch the ground. Work to your own level. And if you are a beginner, shorten up your range of motion if you need to. Just make sure, regardless of whether or not you're going to tap the ground with that back knee, the movement should always be under control. But especially if you are going to tap that back knee to the ground, make sure the movement is under control so that you don't bang your knee into the ground, because I've done it many times and it is not fun. So please be careful. But the other thing that you really want to make sure of is that your front knee is more or less at a 90-degree angle, okay? And all I mean by that is that the knee of this front leg should be over the heel of your front foot as opposed to being out over your toes like this, okay? So you want to do your best to keep more or less a 90-degree angle in this front knee. And then from here, again, you're just going to jump and switch the position of your feet, ending up in a lunge position with the other foot forward. Okay, so If you want to, if it's okay to add a jump, but the switching feet is too much, you can do a static lunge jump. And that means that you're just going to come into your starting position, same starting position. But when I jump up, instead of switching the position of my feet are gonna stay right where they are. I'm just gonna lunge and jump. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so that is another possibility. That is the lunge variation that we did on day 9. However, if you can't jump, then I'm going to give you the same beginner modification that I gave you on day 9, and that's just static lunges. So it's the exact same exercise, but instead of jumping, you're just going to pulse. So you're going to lunge and then straighten the legs, no jump, and that's 1. Then bend both knees, straighten the legs, that's 2. Bend the knees, sink into a lunge, press your heels into the ground to stand, that's 3. Lunge, straighten the legs, that's 4, okay? So you can do static lunges, and again, you can shorten up your range of motion on the step, you can shorten up your range of motion on the lunge, you can hold on to a chair or a bar stool or the arm of your couch, your dining room table, something for support. Just make sure that if you are holding on to something for support, that whatever elevated surface you are using to assist you is strong enough to support your body weight. Make sure that it is sturdy, meaning that it is not going to collapse or break or fold up on you when you put weight on it, and make sure that it is stable, meaning so that it cannot slide from underneath you. So if you are going to use a chair or a bar stool, I always recommend placing your chair or stool or whatever you're using on top of an exercise mat or a yoga mat, just so that it stays put. But if you're using like the arm of your couch or the wall or an end table or your dining room table, obviously you're not gonna have to put that on a mat or anything. The point is just to make sure that whatever you're using, it can be any number of elevated surfaces. The point is just to make sure that you're being smart, using your common sense, and being safe. Use something that is strong enough to support your weight, sturdy enough that it won't fold up on you. Like, don't use a folding chair. Make sure that whatever you're using is a good quality, and it's well made, and it's in good condition. It's not going to collapse or break when you put weight on it. And make sure that it's stable so that it can't slide from underneath you and cause you to fall and get hurt. Okay, but those are your beginner modifications. So hold on to something for support if necessary. Shorten up your range of motion on this step. Shorten up your range of motion on the lunge. Keep the feet planted. Don't switch the position of your feet. Don't jump. Just lunge and straighten the legs. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's your beginner modifications for the lunges, okay? Abs. We're doing single leg toe touches. So I'm going to be down here on my mat. Remember that if you cannot get down onto the mat for whatever reason, you can do standing abs. So again, you can hold onto the wall or a strong, sturdy, stable chair or the arm of your couch or your dining room table or something like that for support. And then with the foot that's farthest from the wall, you can step that foot out, extend the leg to the side, take your free hand, bend the elbow, and place the hand behind your head or your neck. And then you can lift this straight leg, bend the knee, and as you do that, you're going to crunch and bring your elbow towards your knee. Ideally, what you're going for, you want to be able to touch your knee with your elbow. But again, work to your own level. So if you're not there yet, you're not there yet. So if you need to shorten up your range of motion, you can be here, but you're trying to bring your knee as close to your elbow as you can. Just make sure you're feeling that crunch in your obliques. But that is your standing ab modification if you can't get down onto the mat. If you can get down onto the mat, you're going to come down onto your mat like this. You're going to extend your legs straight, and you're going to extend your arms up overhead. And then you're going to lift one leg, keeping the leg more or less straight. It's absolutely fine if your knee is bent. Like if you're really tight, if you have really tight hamstrings, you're probably gonna have your knee bent, that's fine. But I'm gonna keep my leg more or less straight. I'm sure you'll see a slight bend in my knee. I'll have soft knees, but I'm not specifically crunching the knee in towards my chest, although you can if you want to. I'm going to keep my leg more or less straight and just lift the leg straight up. And then as I do that, I'm just going to sit up. I'm going to bring my torso up, reach up and tap the toes with the hand, the opposite hand, okay? And then reverse the movement. And then other side. So now I'm going to lift the other leg. I'm going to sit up. So bring my torso up and tap the toes with the opposite hand. Reverse the movement. That's it. Super simple. So each toe tap is 1 rep. So it will look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Super duper simple. So if it's too difficult to keep the legs straight, you can bend the knee. Maybe you can just bring elbow to knee if that works better for you. That's fine. Basically just do like bicycles or it doesn't matter. Again, any ab exercise you want to do is fine. So I think bending the knee and doing like bicycles, like bringing elbow to knee, is probably going to work for you. I think I'm going through in my head everyone I know is doing the challenge, and I think you can all manage that. But if you can't, then you can do any sit-up variation, any crunch variation, any ab exercise you want, okay? So I think I'm doing single leg toe touches. I think you can all manage something similar to that, but if you need any further help with beginner modifications, you know I'm right here to help, so please just ask. Okay, that's our S for squats, our lunges, L, A for abs, and now last is P, push-ups. So I'm doing commando push-ups. Commando push-ups just means push-ups without any underwear on. I made that joke last year, but I thought it was pretty funny, so I'm making it again this year. But yeah, no, underwear is optional, but here's for reals what a commando push-up is. If you Google like what's a commando push-up, you're gonna see like 800 different things. When I say commando push-up, this is what I'm talking about, so call it whatever you want. But basically you're going to start all the way down on your belly, like this. You're going to pick up your hands, pick up your feet. All right, so this is actually really your starting position. On your belly, on the mat with your hands and your feet elevated. Now, what you're going to do is put your hands back down on the mat, right next to your shoulders. You're going to curl your toes under, and now you're going to push yourself up. Now, this is kind of a tricky exercise. It's pretty difficult. And what you're going to want to do is this, kind of snake your way up. But that's not the exercise, okay? So what you want to try to do, instead of first lifting your chest and then lifting your belly and then lifting your hips and then lifting your thighs off the mat, what you want to do is try to lift your body all in one movement, like lift everything at the same time. So it's just like a regular push-up where you're trying to keep that straight line from your heels to your shoulders. So at no point do you want to allow your back to be arched like this as you're pushing yourself up. You want to keep your body in one straight line. So from here, I'm going to put my hands down on the mat, curl my toes under, and now I want to tighten up everything. I want to really tighten up my ab muscles. Again, it's like someone's going to punch you in the stomach and you're bracing for impact. I want to keep my head in line with my spine, and I want to think of my body like it is literally like a plank of wood, like a 2x4. And I want to just push everything up at the same time, keeping that straight line from my heels to my shoulders like this. Okay? And then I'm going to be kind of tucking my knee into my chest as I'm pushing myself up. So it's going to look like this. Come all the way down onto your mat, on your belly, pick up the hands, pick up the feet. This is your starting position. Hands go down, curl the toes under. Now as I push myself up, I'm going to pick up one foot and I'm going to tuck the knee in towards my chest like this. And then I'm going to reverse the movement. I'm going to straighten this knee, put the foot down, and bring myself all the way back down onto my mat. Pick up my hands, pick up my feet. That's 1 rep. So as you're lowering yourself down to the mat, you also want to make sure that your body is in one straight line from your heels to your shoulders. And everything hits the mat at the same time. So again, I'm pushing myself up, doing my knee tuck. When I lower myself back down, I want to make sure I'm not doing this, lowering my hips, and then my belly, and then my chest. I want to lower everything at the same time. So my body's in one straight line from my heels to my shoulders. Everything hits the mat at the same time. Okay? And then we're going to just alternate sides for the knee tuck with each rep. So I'm down here. This is my starting position. I'm going to push myself up and tuck the knee. Now reverse the movement. Pick up the hands, pick up the feet. That's 1 rep. Now I'm going to tuck the knee on the other side. So hands down, curl the toes under, tighten everything up. Keep your body one straight line. Push yourself up, tuck the other knee, and then straighten the leg. Lower your body in one straight line. And then pick up the hands, pick up the feet. That's 2 reps. Okay, so it is a pretty challenging push-up variation, but just remember that you can do any push-up variation you want. So if you just want to do knee push-ups, that's fine. If there's another push-up variation that you could do and you want to do, that's fine. If you can't get down onto the mat, remember that there are standing push-up options as well. You can do push-ups off of the arm of your couch. You can do push-ups with your hands on your dining room table or on your kitchen counter. You can do wall push-ups. Wall push-ups would work really well with this workout. You can do your lunge variation, your squat variation, and then you can just put your hands on the wall for your push-ups, okay? And then your standing abs, okay? This would work really well up against the wall as an all-standing workout. So if any of that is unclear and you need a workout where it's all standing, that would actually work so well with this workout. So if you need to see that, please let me know. But if you're gonna be down on the mat with me, just remember that any push-up variation you wanna do is fine, whether that's from your knees or from your toes. So just make sure you're minding your form on the push-ups. So real quickly, just general form for your push-ups, how to do a push-up correctly. 3 things you want to remember. Head in line with the spine, abs super tight and engaged so that your hips are lifted high and your back is flat, and shoulders away from the ears, okay? So you want to make sure that you're not kind of sinking down into your shoulders like this, all right? If you're doing push-ups from your knees, you're going to start in your plank position, put your knees down on the mat, and then press the mat away from you so that you make sure you're not sinking down into your shoulders. You make sure your shoulders are away from the ears. So spread out your fingers and push the ground away. Then you're going to make sure your head is in line with your spine. So if you would imagine that you are standing with your back up against the wall, imagine just lightly pressing the back of your head into the wall so that your head is perfectly straight up and down in line with your spine. You really want to make sure that you're not allowing your head to drop like this. You also want to make sure you're not over-correcting by hyperextending your neck. Just have your head nice and in line with your spine, press the mat away, shoulders are away from the ears, and then make sure that your back is flat. So it's a really common mistake that people will allow their hips or their belly to kind of droop down towards the mat like this, but that is causing an arch in my back. We want to get rid of that arch. So if you find that you're down here, what I want you to do to fix it is really tighten up your ab muscles. Use your ab muscles to lift your hips high and keep them high. And then from this position, nothing moves. So again, it's like your body is a plank of wood, a 2x4. From your knees to your shoulders, nothing should move. You're just going to bend your elbows and lower your chest as close to the mat as you can. Then you're going to press the mat away from you and push yourself back up. Now, if you cannot touch your chest to the mat, that's fine. Shorten up your range of motion. okay? So if you can only come down this close to the mat without breaking that straight line from your knees to your shoulders, that's fine. You're gonna stop here, and then you're going to press the ground away from you and push yourself back up, and that's your push-up. But if you are unable to get your chest all the way down and you can only come down this far, what I don't want you to do is compensate for the fact that you're not getting your chest all the way down by lowering your hips or your belly down to the mat. We want to avoid that. That's causing an arch in my back. We want to keep the back nice and flat, and we want to keep that straight line from the knees to the shoulders the entire time. The other really common mistake, if you are unable to get your chest all the way down to the mat, a lot of people will lower their forehead down to the mat like this. But we want to avoid that. We want to keep our head in line with the spine, and we want to keep our head perfectly still. So don't allow your head to bob up and down. All right, if you can't get your chest all the way down, just bring your chest as close to the mat as you can without breaking that straight line from your knees to your shoulders, and then push the mat away and push yourself back up. Okay, that's your push-up. If you're doing push-ups from your toes, exact same thing. Literally the only difference is that instead of your straight line being from your knees to your shoulders, your straight line is going to be from your heels to your shoulders, okay? But it's all the same three things. Head in line with the spine, so don't allow your head to droop down like this. Don't overextend by don't overcorrect by hyperextending your neck. Head in line with the spine. Make sure you're not sinking down into your shoulders. Spread out those fingers. Push the mat away from you. Push yourself up as high as you can. Make sure your back is flat. So if you find your hips or your belly drooping like this, tighten up your abs. Lift the hips high and keep them high. And then from here, nothing moves. You found this beautiful plank position, and then you just want to imagine that from your heels to your shoulders, your body is a plank of wood. So as you bend your elbows and lower your chest down to the mat, nothing else moves. You never want to break that straight line from your heels to your shoulders. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you're doing knee push-ups or push-ups from your toes. Any push-up variation you want to do is fine, just to make sure, one, head stays in line with the spine. You're not bobbing your head up and down, okay? Head stays in line with the spine and it stays still. Two, shoulders are away from your ears. Don't sink into your shoulders. Spread out your fingers. Push the mat away from you so that your shoulders are away from your ears and you're as high as you can get in that plank position. And three, your back is flat. So if you find that your hips or your belly are sinking down to the mat, tighten up your abs. Use your ab muscles to lift your hips high and keep them high. And once you have found that position, whether you're on your knees or your toes, you don't want anything to move. So you're going to bend your elbows, get your chest down as close to the mat as you can without breaking that straight line, either from your knees to your shoulders or from your heels to your shoulders. And then you're going to push yourself back up and return to your starting position. Now, if you want to add something, you can add something. If you want to add a knee tuck, that's great. I'm doing a knee tuck. If you can't do the commando push-ups, but you want to add the knee tuck, then go for it. So you can do a push-up from your toes and then do a knee tuck. Alternate sides for the knee tuck with each rep. So then you can do another push-up and another knee tuck. You can also do that from your knees. So you can do a knee push-up, then come up into a plank position and do a knee tuck, knees down. Knee push-up, come up into a plank position, and knee tuck with the opposite leg, okay? So any push-up variation you want to do is fine. If you want to include the knee tuck, include it. If you want to eliminate it, eliminate it. If you can't do the knee tuck, but you want to add something, so you're not just doing a standard push-up, you can add a side plank, you can add a knee tuck to the side, you can reach out with your arms. There's just a million different push-up variations you can do. So if you need help coming up with a push-up variation that you can do, I'm right here to help, so please just ask. But really, any push-up variation you want to do is fine. So just pick something that's going to work for you. But that's it. That's all 4 exercises. So now here's the format. Again, this is the exact same format we did on day 9 of the challenge. So if you have been following along since at least day 9, then you've seen this already. It's a really cool format. There's a nice flow to it. And I think when I do this format, the workout, it just kind of makes the workout go by a lot faster for me because we're just doing sets of 4. We're doing sets of 4 for everything except abs. Remember, squats, lunges, and push-ups, we're doing sets of 4, but abs is sets of 8, okay? And the reason why is just because the abs are like the middle thing that we're doing. This format is kind of like there's a mirror in the middle, and each half of the combo is a mirror image of itself. So what I mean by that is this. I'm going to start with lunges. Now I'm always going to make sure, so if I'm starting on this side of my mat, I'm always going to take the outside foot and keep that foot forward as I step back into my lunge. So when I'm on this side of my mat, it's always going to be this foot that's forward because this is my outside foot, okay? So I'm going to step one foot back, sink into my lunge, and I'm going to do 4 jump lunges, or static lunge jumps, or static lunges, whatever lunge variation you're doing, you're going to do 4 reps of lunges. Then I'm going to do 4 squats. So you can just do air squats if you want. You can add a jump if you want, or a knee crunch, anything you want, okay? 4 squats, whatever squat variation you're doing. Then 4 push-ups. So you can do wall push-ups, or if you want to come down onto the mat with me, you can do commando push-ups, or you can just do a regular push-up with a knee tuck, okay? Any push-up variation you want, 4 reps. So that's the first half of the combo. We did 4 lunges, 4 squats, and 4 push-ups. So now it's time for abs. This is like the middle of our combo. And remember, it's gonna be like a mirror image. So you're going to come down onto your mat for your ab exercise, or if you're doing standing abs, you'll do this on the wall. And then you're going to do 8 reps of whatever ab exercise you're doing. So I'm gonna do 8 of these single leg toe touches. Then I'm going to roll over again. So I'm traveling from one end of the mat to the other. Okay, so now we're going backwards. So the first half of the combo, I did lunge, squat, push up. Then we did our abs. Now I'm going backwards. It's like a mirror image. So I'm doing push up, squats, lunges. Okay, so another 4 reps of whatever push up variation you're doing. And then you'll stand and do another 4 reps of whatever squat variation you're doing. And then you'll finish with 4 reps of lunges. So now I'm on this side of my mat. So that means that this is my outside leg. So this leg will stay forward. I'll step the other foot back, sink into my lunge, and then I'll do my 4 lunges. And that's 1 set. Okay? So after 1 set, we've traveled from this end of the mat to this end of the mat, and we've completed 4 push-ups, 4 squats, 4 lunges on each side, and then 8 abs in the middle. Okay, so we completed a total of 8 reps of everything. 8 lunges, 8 squats, 8 push-ups, 8 reps of abs, okay? So that means that we have to do this little combo a total of 5 times to complete our 40 reps of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. All right, so from here, I'm gonna travel to the other side. So I just finished with 4 lunges to complete my first round. So now I need to do another 4 lunges to begin round 2. So when you get to the end of 1 set of the little combo, you're going to have to stay there and repeat your lunges in essence, because the combo ends with 4 lunges, but it also begins with 4 lunges, okay? So 4 lunges to end round 1, and then immediately I'm going to do another 4 lunges to begin round 2, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'll do my 4 squats, 4 push-ups, okay? Then I'll come onto my back and do 8 reps of abs. Continuing in the same direction. So now I started at that end of the mat, I'm gonna end up over here. Mirror image, okay? So I just finished my abs, now I'm going to do 4 more push-ups. Then I'm going to stand, and I'm going to do 4 more squats, and 4 lunges with this foot forward because this is my outside foot. So after I do 4 lunges, that completes round 2. Then I'm going to immediately do another 4 lunges to start round 3. Okay, so we have to do it 5 times. So each set of the combo, you're doing 8 reps of everything. So we have to do 5 rounds, okay? I think it does make sense. I think it sounds complicated when I'm trying to explain it, but I think that once you see it, it does make sense. It's not complicated, I promise. I do this format all the time and it's not complicated. Keep in mind that I do always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video, and I'm going to do the workout with you. So you'll watch me do it, read the instructions, but then of course, if anything is unclear, if you have questions about the format and how it all fits together, if anything's not making sense to you, if you have questions about the exercises that we are doing today, any questions about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with beginner modifications beyond what I have already provided, I am right here to help, so please just ask. It's really important that you understand how to do the exercises with the correct form before you begin the workout, so that you reduce your risk of injury, and also just so that you make sure you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. And you guys know it is also incredibly important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me, and I am always here to help facilitate that, but especially so for this challenge this year. So do not hesitate to reach out if anything is unclear, if you have questions, or if you need help. Also, I want to remind you, especially if you are going to be working out along with the video, please go at your own pace and mind your form. Do not sacrifice your form for speed. So once you understand the movement, you understand how to do each exercise correctly, it's really imperative that you are applying that knowledge during the workout and actually using the correct form and doing the exercises properly, so that again, you reduce your risk of injury. If you start kind of racing through the exercises because you're just trying to go really fast for the sake of going fast, just to be able to say you got a great score. If you're capable of going faster than I am because you're in better shape than I am, you're stronger than I am, that's great. Go faster than I am, as long as you're not sacrificing your form to get there. But if you find that you're racing to try to beat me or to try to keep up with me, and you're starting to get sloppy, then you need to slow down your pace, okay? If you're slower than I am, that's fine. Be where you are, okay? So if you fall behind, either because you're just working at a slower pace than I am, or because you need to rest in between sets, then pause the video and come back when you're ready, all right? So if you do need to pause and rest, I just want to encourage you to challenge yourself to keep the rest break as short as you can, but it should be as long as you need. All right, so make sure that if you need to pause and rest, you're challenging yourself to keep the rest break short as you can, but you should only come back and resume the workout when you feel that you have regained enough strength and enough stamina that you are capable of continuing with good form. Make sure you're minding your form, make sure you're going at your own pace, and make sure you're not sacrificing your form for speed. Okay, so hopefully I have covered everything. If you are ready to begin the workout, go ahead and grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If you don't have a mat, a towel may suffice. If you are working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything at all. And if you're standing, then you're not going to need a mat. But if you are doing knee push-ups, or if you are doing an ab exercise similar to the one I'm doing, you're obviously going to be much more comfortable with something soft beneath you. So grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. And then you can pause the video, go get dressed, and then meet me right back here. We are going to do a quick 5-minute warm up, and then we'll get our reps done together. All right, so as soon as you're ready, let's get started with our 5-minute warm up. So you're going to begin by just allowing your head to drop towards one shoulder, and then you're going to place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. So you are not actively pulling your ear towards your shoulder. You're just resting your hand on your shoulder and allowing gravity to do all of the work, just gently stretching the other side of your neck. Now switch sides, so let your head fall towards the other shoulder. Rest your hand on top of your head and make sure your shoulders are staying nice and relaxed. So don't let this other shoulder creep up like this. Make sure your shoulders are down and relaxed. Next, we're going to do some head rolls. So you're going to start by letting your chin drop to your chest, and then to the other shoulder, and then back. And each time you roll your head, start to feel your head just getting heavier and heavier. Your arms are nice and loose. Feel like a rag doll. And every time you roll, you're just increasing your range of motion. And now we're gonna roll our shoulders back. So make big circles with your shoulders. Really exaggerate that motion. And next we're going to do arm circles. So you're going to start by extending your arms straight out to the side, and you're going to start by making small circles, but then gradually as the interval progresses, you can start making your circles bigger and bigger until finally you're making the circles as big as you possibly can, really loosening up those shoulders. Now you're going to step your feet a little wider than shoulder width apart, bend the knees, sweep the hands down in front of you, and then as you straighten your legs, you're gonna reach up above you like you're trying to touch the ceiling. And each time you bend your knees, start to expand your range of motion by sinking a little bit deeper, and keep reaching up as high as you can. Now keep your feet where they are. You're gonna lunge side to side, nice and easy, and then adding the arms. You're just going to reach across your body with each lunge, like you're trying to throw your arm across the room. Now we're gonna step the feet in close together and march. So start here with your knees low, but then little by little, as the interval progresses, you can start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest until you're driving your knees up as high as you can, feeling a little stretch in your glutes. And now we're going to do the same thing with a jog. So start with a nice light jog with your knees low. And then gradually, as the interval progresses, you're going to start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest until you're driving your knees up as high as you possibly can. Now booty kicks, so it's still a nice light jog, but with each step, I'm bringing my foot behind me, trying to kick myself in the booty with my heel. For this next one, you may need to hold on to a chair or the wall for support. If not, you can just have your hands on your hips. You're going to pick up one foot and just start swinging the leg. Swing it in front of you and then swing it behind you. Nice and loose. We're gonna switch sides. So now you're gonna put this foot down, transfer your weight, pick up the other foot, and start swinging the leg, front and back. You can start low, and then gradually increase your range of motion. Now we're gonna switch the weight back towards this foot. Take the other foot, extend it out in front of you, and just draw a little semicircle. Bringing that leg around and behind you, and each time you draw that semicircle, start lifting the leg a little higher until finally you can drive the knee up in front of you and kind of guide it around with your hand. Now let's repeat that on the other side. So extend the leg out in front of you, draw a semicircle, bringing that leg around and behind you. And then finally you can drive the knee up in front of you, guide it around with your hand. Last is our hamstring stretch. So you want to hinge at the hips. Try to keep your back as flat as you can. So I'm using this post to assist me. You could lean on a chair, either on the high part of the chair or on the seat of the chair if you're a little more flexible. You could also use the arm of your couch or an end table or something like that. It just makes it a little bit more comfortable to get into the stretch. That's it, that's our 5 minutes. I would just like to take a few extra seconds in this hamstring stretch, but you don't have to if you don't want to. The reason I say to use the wall or a chair to help you get into it is because you're trying to keep your back as flat as you can. It's okay if you round your back. You're not going to hurt yourself, but if you try to keep your back as flat as you can, it's going to intensify this stretch a lot. It's really going to help you to isolate those hamstrings. And since we're only doing this stretch for a few seconds, you want to maximize the effectiveness. So keeping your back flat as you can, is really going to help make the stretch more effective. So using a chair or the wall can help you get into that stretch more easily, more comfortably. It'll help you keep your back nice and flat. But that is it. That's our 5-minute warm up. So let's go ahead and get these reps done. All right, so as soon as you're ready, we are starting with lunges. So I'm going to be starting towards this end of my mat. So remember, it's always going to be the outside foot that's forward. So I'm going to start by stepping back with my inside foot. I'm going to bend both knees and sink into my lunge. That's my starting position. I'm starting with 4 jump lunges. So you can do any lunge variation you want. As soon as you're ready, I am starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. So step back with the foot, lunge position to start. Now jump and switch the position of your feet. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now squats. I'm doing a squat and a jump. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right into push-ups. So I'm doing commando push-ups all the way down. Hands up, feet up, push up, tuck the knee, back down to the belly. Hands up, feet up. Alternating sides with each rep for that knee tuck. So push up, tuck the other knee, and back down. That's 2, 3, and 4. Now roll over. Abs, 8 reps. So I'm doing single leg toe touches. So lifting the leg, touching the toes with the hand on the opposite side, alternating sides with each rep. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now we're gonna roll over. We're traveling this way. We're gonna repeat all that in reverse. So now 4 more push-ups. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Stand. Squats. Squat and jump. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Finishing up with 4 lunges. So now I'm on this side of my mat. Outside foot is forward. Stepping back with the inside foot. Sinking down into my lunge. Then I'm going to jump and switch the feet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now that's round 1, but I'm going to start round 2 from this side and then travel back. So that means I'm going to stay right here. I'm going to start round 2 with another 4 jump lunges. So from here, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now 4 squats. Squat and jump. 2, 3, and 4. 4 commando push-ups. So all the way down on the belly, lift the hands, lift the feet. Push up and tuck the knee. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Roll over. 8 reps of abs. So lift the leg and touch the toes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Continuing in this direction. Roll over. And now we repeat the push-ups, squats, and lunges in reverse. So for push-ups, stand. For squats, 1, 2, 3, and 4. For lunges, outside foot forward, step the other foot back, lunge and jump. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's my second set of the combo. I have to do 3 more. So I'm going to zip the lip so I can conserve some energy. I want to do my best to string these final 3 sets together as kind of seamlessly as I can. All right, so if you need to pause and rest, pause and rest. I'm going to go ahead and get right into round 3. I'm going to try to do my final 3 rounds with no talking and no stopping. So wish me luck. know you might just want to collapse in a heap on your mat. But it's really important to get up and move around while you allow your heart rate to come down a little bit and while you allow your breathing to normalize. So I don't generally do much of a structured cool down, and you don't have to either. You can just join me for my little cool down, as it were. But I usually just like to pace around a little bit. Swing the arms out. You can do a little shoulder stretch. So just bring one arm across your body. Use the other arm to pull your straight arm in close to your chest. Make sure that the arm that's stretching is nice and relaxed. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. You don't want that shoulder up here by your ear. Relax it, make sure it's down, away from your ear. Fully relaxed so you can really feel that stretch in your shoulder. Other side. So now you can bring the opposite arm across your body. Use your other arm to pull it in close to your chest and feel that stretch in your shoulder. Make sure both of your shoulders are nice and relaxed. Shake it out. Do the triceps real quickly. So you're just bending one elbow and then placing your opposite hand on your elbow and gently pulling this elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Make sure that this hand that's in the arm that's stretching, your free hand, make sure that it is relaxed and pointing straight down at the ground. You don't want it up here by your shoulder. Kind of reaching straight down to the ground with your hand of your stretching arm. Repeat that on the other side. So take your other arm, bend the elbow, place your opposite hand on the elbow and just gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Feeling that nice stretch in your triceps, making sure that the hand that's free is relaxed and pointing straight down at the ground. Just swing the arms back and forth. Shake out the arms, shake out the legs a little bit. If you are doing a lot of jumping with me today, you might be feeling those quads. So let's go ahead and do a quick quad stretch. So I'm just bringing one foot up behind me and I'm reaching my hands behind me to grab the top of my foot. And I'm just kind of pressing my heel into my booty cheek. Feeling that stretch in the quad. And as you do this stretch, you want to make sure you're pushing your hips forward. And what I mean by that, you can switch legs, so bring the other foot up behind you. Reach behind you, grab that foot around the top. Press the foot, press the heel into your booty cheek. And as you do that, tilt your pelvis this way, okay? So you're sucking your belly button in, trying to touch your spine with your belly button. Continuing as you do that to press this heel into your booty cheek. Tilting the pelvis this way, sucking in that belly button towards your spine. You'll feel that instantly target your quads so much more effectively. You'll really feel that stretch in your quad intensify. But that's it, that's my little cool down. If your heart rate is not back down and your breathing still has not normalized, you can just do a little bit more of that. Pace around a little bit more, do a little bit more light stretching. And when you feel that you're cooled down, when you feel that your heart rate has normalized and your breathing has normalized, we can go ahead and get our bonus burpee done together. No workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. So we have just 1 rep left to go. If you are a beginner, I will walk you through how to do a beginner bonus burpee. I will be including a push-up, but if you don't want to include a push-up, that's fine, you can eliminate it. Any burpee variation you want to do is fine. The bonus burpee is mandatory. You must do a bonus burpee after each and every workout, but it can be any burpee variation you want. Many burpee variations include a push-up, and I'm going to include a push-up with my bonus burpee. I always do. But many burpee variations do not include a push-up, so you don't have to do the push-up, but you do have to do your bonus burpee. So if you're a beginner, I will walk you through how to do a beginner bonus burpee. You are going to start by standing in the middle of your mat. You're going to bend down and put your hands flat on the mat in front of you, and then you're going to step your feet back one at a time into your plank position. Now put your knees down for a push-up if you want to do a push-up. If not, you can eliminate the push-up. Step the feet back in and stand, and then come up onto your toes if you can, and if you want, you can add a little jump. If you are not a beginner and you would like to try to do the push-up from your toes, let's go ahead and do one final bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. So as soon as you're ready, here we go. Final rep of the day. So with that, the workout is now officially complete. That took me only 9 minutes and 34 seconds, which is actually faster than I thought it was going to go for me today. I could have gone even faster if I hadn't been talking you through the first 2 sets of the combo, but anything under 10 minutes, I'm good with that. And most importantly, I got the reps done. That's what's important. So now it's really important that you're taking a good 15 or 20 minutes at least to stretch. Right now, immediately after the workout is going to be the most efficient and the most effective time to get your stretching done because your muscles are already nice and warm. So 15 or 20 minutes is ideal if you can, and if you can do it even longer than that, that's great. If you absolutely do not have time to do your stretching right now, that's fine. You can do it later on in the day. But just keep in mind that if you wait until later in the day to do your stretching, that your muscles will have gotten cold again. So you are going to need to take a few minutes to warm them back up before you begin stretching. The same way we take 5 minutes to warm up our muscles before beginning the workout. You also do not want to jump into a stretching routine with cold muscles. So if you do your stretching right now, you don't have to warm them up because they're already warm. But if you do your stretching later in the day, you're going to have to take a few minutes to warm your muscles back up before you jump into your stretching routine so that you reduce your risk of pulling or straining a muscle or overstretching. A big part of the reason that we do our stretching every day is to reduce the risk of injury. So please make sure you're not injuring yourself during your stretching routine. But taking the time to stretch every day is a must. It's mandatory. It is going to help you to alleviate muscle soreness. It's also going to help prevent your risk of injury. It's going to help reduce your risk of injury, I should say. And nothing's 100%. It's still possible to get injured, but that's why we just want to do everything we can to kind of reduce that risk. So taking the time to stretch every day is going to go a long way towards reducing your risk of future injuries. And you're going to improve your flexibility and your mobility, which is important in and of itself. So make sure you're taking the time to stretch every day. If you are a beginner and you don't know how to stretch really, and you don't know where to begin, just open up YouTube and search for beginner stretching routine. If your muscles are real tight and you need a stretching routine that's geared towards inflexible people, search for a stretching routine for inflexible people. There's going to be tons of great options. If you're interested in the stretching routine that I do every day, please just ask. I'm happy to share that link with you. But it can be any stretching routine you want. The important thing is just that you're getting your stretching done. So don't skip your stretching. Before I stretch, I am going to add on 20 minutes of moderate paced cardio with my jump rope. That is why I'm holding Rebecca. Rudbecca is my adorable black jump rope with these cute little white skulls on the handles. And if you would like to know where I got Rudbecca, there is a link and a coupon code in the description box down below the video. So click on the link, use coupon code Rudbecca to save an additional 10% on your jump rope. If you don't have a jump rope or you can't jump rope for whatever reason, you can add on any type of moderate paced cardio you want, if you want to, okay? The additional cardio is not mandatory. It is not officially part of the challenge, but it's the way I do the challenge every single year since 2020. After every workout, I add on 20 to 30 minutes or more of additional cardio. So for me, 9 times out of 10, that's jump rope. So I think jump rope is a great option, but sometimes I might decide to go for a jog. Sometimes I'll hop on the exercise bike for 30 minutes. When I have time, I'll take a nice long hike. So it can be any kind of moderate paced cardio you want. You can go for a jog or a bike ride or a swim if you have access to a pool. If you do have access to something like an elliptical or a treadmill or an exercise bike or something like that, you can hop on one of those for 20 or 30 minutes. If you have access to a heavy bag, you could work on your heavy bag for however long people work on a heavy bag for. I don't know, I don't have a heavy bag. But if you have access to the field at your local high school, you could jog around the track. You could do up and down the bleachers, okay? It can be any type of moderate paced cardio you want, 20, 30 minutes at least if you can, more if you want to. The reason for the additional cardio, the reason I do it is because I'm trying to use this challenge to get myself back in shape. I need to lose weight. I want to improve my stamina and my endurance, and I want to strengthen my heart and my lungs. So doing the additional cardio, for me, it just helps to accelerate that process. It helps me to be able to see results faster, and that encourages me to keep going. It helps me to find the motivation to keep getting up and getting dressed and getting out here every day and getting my reps done, because I can see the results. I can see that what I'm doing is working. I like the changes I'm seeing in my body, and so it makes it easier to find the motivation to keep going. And as I'm getting stronger and my stamina is improving, it makes the workouts themselves easier. And so it's easier to motivate myself to do something that I know isn't going to be pure torture. So for me, it really helps to accelerate things. It helps me to be able to see results faster, and that helps to encourage me. It makes motivation easier to come by, and I'm always so much happier with my results at the end of the challenge thanks to this additional cardio. So I just want to be upfront with you. I want to be transparent that I'm doing more than just these 160 reps every day. The 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of abs, and 40 push-ups are all I'm doing as far as strength training. I am relying solely on these 160 reps every day for my strength training. But I'm also adding cardio after each workout. So, if you are also using this challenge to try to get yourself in shape, if you're trying to lose weight, the additional cardio, I know we're doing 6 workouts every week. We're working out every Monday through Saturday, and that's 6 cardio sessions that I'm doing every week, and I know that's a lot. You might not physically be able to do 6 cardio sessions a week, or you just might not have the time, but I'm going to encourage you to consider just squeezing in the additional cardio when you can. So if you can even just find 2 or 3 days a week to sneak in a quick cardio session, it can be any kind of moderate paced cardio you want. It doesn't have to be more than 20 or 30 minutes, but it's strongly recommended if you want, okay? But again, it's just going to help you to start seeing results faster. And if you are trying to get in shape, if you are trying to lose weight, the additional cardio is going to accelerate that process. And I just know you'll be a lot happier with your results at the end of the challenge. So something to consider, okay? The additional cardio is not required. It is not technically, officially part of the challenge, but I'm doing it. And I strongly recommend that you do some additional cardio after the workouts when you can, 2 or 3 days a week if you want to and if you can. But regardless of whether or not you are doing cardio today, our 161 reps are complete. We have done our 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of abs, 40 push-ups, and 1 bonus burpee. So that is officially a wrap on day 25. Well done. If you did this workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately, and even if you are not doing the workouts with me, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. It truly does mean the world to me. Thank you to everyone who's doing the challenge with me. If you are not doing the challenge, remember it is not too late to start. It is never too late to start. You can start today with day 25, or if you want to go back to the beginning and start on day 1, just save the playlist, watch that video for day 1, and then when you are ready to begin, make sure that you are starting with that day 1 workout on a Wednesday. Any random Wednesday will work, but as long as you start with your day 1 workout on a Wednesday, all you have to do is follow along with the playlist and everything will fall into place. It is super easy to follow along, and if you have any questions about the challenge, about how it works, why we're doing it, who's Brutus, where to begin, how do I participate, I am right here to help. I am not only doing the challenge with you, I'm not only here working out with you every single day, but I'm also here to answer questions. I am here to provide guidance and support. I am here to help motivate you and encourage you. So don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions about the challenge, about how to do squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups correctly. If you need help with beginner modifications, I am right here. So please just ask. I also need to say thank you to all of my new subscribers. I don't know why, but I've been getting a lot more subscribers than normal lately. I'm not going to question it, but it makes me really, really happy. So if you are one of those new subscribers, thank you so, so much. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, a great big thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Please know that I appreciate you all so very much. One final reminder that if anything was unclear with the format of today's workout and how it all fits together, if you have questions about any of the exercises that we were doing today, if you have doubt about how to do the exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with beginner modifications, I am right here to help, so please just ask. That is going to do it for today, and I will see you all right back here tomorrow for day 26. Bye.